and
Yes, I am eating.
Mid-intro. Wow, we're so professional, guys.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
We're so professional we didn't fucking say we were
Fucking
starting.
hell.
I had no idea this was
We're starting, asshole. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Buddy Cop Podcast. Today I am joined with chromo,
Hello.
Fat,
Hi.
Chins,
Why are you yelling?
Hi.
Folds,
That's me, Folds Primary Buddy Cop.
and I'm Twig.
Quick ASMR for the rest of the thing. Now, I hope everybody enjoys this lovely little podcast we're going to be.
Robert, I'm surprised you didn't cough.
He sounds like he's washing his car. Just spraying it down with a
going
fire.
through a Winco bulk bag.
Chins, it's 10 o'clock. Why are you going through the dry cleaners right now?
Dryers running in the back. Robert wouldn't go to the dry cleaners.
Yes, he would.
I'm
Make
the wet
fun
cleaner.
of everybody there who doesn't use a washing machine.
I just spit shine my clothing. When you try to spit shine cotton.
It just rubs right off.
Ah, shit.
Oh, that's funny.
So how have you guys been doing?
I love that we're making fun of Robert for eating. Meanwhile, Chromo is eating spicy Cheetos into his microphone.
He's also eating it out of a reusable
Pussy.
plastic bag.
He's like the Kyle Kinane guy with
Dude,
the pancakes in a bag.
Oh my god.
I was listening to more Kyle Kinane, right? So for those of you who don't
iCard
know,
right here.
yeah, anybody who doesn't know Kyle Kinane, look him up. He's funny. But I was
Picture of
listening to
Kyle
a thing
Kinane
about
right here.
him
Oh,
talking
fuck
about people who commit suicide. It was a documentary
fine,
called
I'll
The
do it.
Bridge. And so essentially he was talking about how none of these people, they were all the same. They all looked exactly the same. They walked up, they were all sad, and then they just kind of fell off the side of the bridge. And he's like, that's not interesting. This is your final moments. You've been planning this shit for a while. And so nobody wore a cape. And I thought that was so fucking good. And he says, if I ever get to the point where I commit suicide, I'm going to jump off of a building. But I'm going to be wearing a snorkel mask and flippers. And I'm going to have a small glass of water next to where I'm going to land. And they're going to be like, this was the greatest daredevil we ever knew.
Or
And
the
I was-
dumbest.
That way it doesn't look like a suicide. It just looks like a
Daredevil
attempted
action
magic
convert.
trick.
Exactly. But then one of the other things he was talking about was his tombstone. So he's walking through a graveyard, and he's like, you know, man, nobody's ever happy in a graveyard. I want to be like that one guy. So because your tombstone doesn't have to be accurate. All the paperwork saying that you're dead does, but not your tombstone, because that's not official. So he's like, what we should do is I want to have my tombstone where it's going to say, Kyle Kinane, born, whenever the hell Kyle Kinane was born, died in your arms tonight. Parentheses, it must have been something you said. Imagine seeing that in a graveyard. Be like, God, that guy must have really loved Cutting Crew. Because now he's dead in their arms tonight. And whoever said that's a prick.
Yeah, you always gotta have your tombstone say your name and then just buried alive.
Died when I was buried. Help. Just put a shovel on your grave. Help. I want my gravestone to be a shovel. I want it to be in the shape of a shovel. Help.
In the shape of a
And I want it just to say help. That's it.
I forgot who I was talking to. Someone was like, the way I want to go out is like, jumping off the building is one thing. But jumping off with the noose of razor wire with your hands super glued to your head.
That way it looks like you pulled off your own head.
Yes.
Yeah. So good.
Or you're just standing in a crowd full of people, maybe Times Square, and you just scream, who farted, and then blow your brains out.
And you're that one crazy motherfucker who wears a gas mask everywhere. Don't worry, guys. The nukes could drop any time. And you're like, quick, put on your hard hats, because that's going to help. It's like duck and cover commercials where you can hide underneath a daisy during a nuclear bomb.
Or you
Can we
could
talk about duck and cover commercials and how fucking hilarious those are? So I got into, do you guys know what I'm talking about, duck and cover commercials? I know
No clue
Matt
what
knows
you're
what I'm
talking
talking about. You know, duck and cover commercials?
I
Just
So, like,
saying
during
it
the-
over and over again.
During the
doesn't help.
Cold War, there was commercials going on that told people that when the bombs drop, just duck and cover.
school desk.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a lot of
I've
commercials
seen
like this.
some
So
of
there's
those.
one where this kid is riding his bike, and then they're like, a siren goes off, and he's like, "Oh my god, can you play a siren right now?" So it sounds like I'm the kid. Oh my god, I don't know what to do. And then he falls off of his bike, and then hides underneath a daisy. 3 flowers are right above his head, and that's it. He's just face plants into the ground and puts his hands over his head. It's like, This is an A-bomb we're talking about. That's not gonna do shit. Those flowers are dead, and so are you, and your bike, and the dumbasses you passed 2 seconds ago.
Clearly,
Look, try to
you don't
find
know
this
how an
commercial.
A-bomb
And your
works.
family.
Yeah,
Everyone you love is dead.
Everyone.
everyone. You know who killed them? The Russians. Let's talk about the Red Scare. That's a fun thing to talk about, right? Everybody loves the Red Scare. We were really terrified of one of the primary colors.
You fucking commie.
I don't understand. Who's afraid of primary colors? You
Better
need them.
dead than red.
Red Dead.
Kill yourself.
Red Dead Redemption.
I haven't actually played the
Red
second
Dead
game
Redemption 2.
Yet. I haven't
Electric
played that game
Boogaloo.
yet, but I really want to play that game. But I haven't finished the
squeakquel.
original game yet. So I just haven't done it.
No.
Can we talk about how great Alvin and the Chipmunks was? All of them?
The Squeakquel or Shipwrecked?
All of them.
Listen,
they were
listen,
all
listen.
perfect.
Okay.
No. The first one was the only good one.
Yes.
Yeah,
The second one
true.
kind of went downhill, and Chipwrecked shouldn't have been a thing.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
That was so weird.
And then they
Shipwrecked
made
was-
an animated series.
Some-
They made a TV series.
Now-
they made
Well, the animated
The
series
movie-
was classic.
Special.
The movie
Are you
was
talking
fine.
classic animated series? I mean,
No, the
let's
new
be
age.
honest here. The other one, the live action one, that's animated too. We can't even say that they got live chipmunks to do all that shit.
What?
If they did,
It's
then
still live action.
Bullshit.
who's the guy who plays Dave?
I say you can.
Robert, you know stuff. Who's the guy? Who's the actor who plays Dave?
Gilbert Godfrey.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, that would have been.
Yeah, I
good
know
movie.
this.
I'm sure Danny DeVito.
The other guy.
No, it was
Alvin. So good.
Those are bad.
I entirely know who this is off the top of my head.
I love that
It's
we can,
Jason Lee.
we can hear you typing a mechanical keyboard.
Wasn't he also the guy? I could be totally wrong. But
He's the
wasn't
guy
he,
who
like-
played Earl, and My Name is Earl.
That's not what I was thinking of. Who was the guy who played the producer in Big Time Rush?
No, it wasn't that guy.
But who was that?
David Cross. No, so David Cross is the guy from Alvin and the Chipmunks who's like, oh.
What?
I have
You know
no
entirely
fucking
what I
idea
mean.
what
I
you're
have not
talking
seen
about.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Are you talking about the guy who tried to steal the chipmunks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
played by David Cross. I'm looking right now
And
to
then in
see.
Shipwrecked,
who
he
was the
was
producer
dressed
in-
up as the
in
pelican on the
Big
cruise
Time
ship.
Rush?
What?
I'm trying to find it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was a pelican.
I saw that movie once, and it was years ago.
Okay, but if we're talking about great movies, can we talk about Monster vs. Aliens, one of Seth Rogen's best roles of all time?
Listen, Monsters vs.
Yeah, that
Aliens
was
was
pretty
just
good.
so subpar.
Okay, but it is like
Your opinion is subpar. I'm sorry, Robert.
I
it
Oh, yeah,
is
no, so-
like
so hold
one of the
on,
best
hold on.
guilty
Hold
pleasure
on.
movies because we all
Listen,
know it's
the-
bad,
They-
but it's fantastically bad.
See, the thing
Listen,
is,
buddy,
the
I just
first
looked
one
up
was
Big
good.
Time Rush for you, so I need you to quiet down.
Hey,
Oh, no.
I've got a phone too.
first-
Wait,
so
is the
the
wasn't
guy-
Valley.
Stephen
guy
Colbert
plays-
the
listen,
president in that?
Listen!
Shut the
guy
fuck
who
up,
play-
Robert. No one gives a goddamn
The
shit
guy who
about your
plays The
opinion.
producer in Big Time Rush is Stephen Kramer Glickman.
Where was
He was
seen
in Big
him
Time
before?
Rush and Big Time Rush the movie, and the movie Storks, which nobody saw, and that's basically it.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
the only
Now,
movie
moving
I
on.
Watch. I'm sorry. What?
Back to Monsters vs. Aliens.
Puberty video for people who don't know what the fuck.
Are we on another fucking movie rant?
Yes, movie rant part 2.
Trick Boogaloo.
Quick, we all just stop talking about movies now. So how was your week, Chromo?
Shit.
I don't want to talk about my week.
I went to 2 classes all week.
Really? Why?
Yes. Felt
it's
like
easier.
shit the first 2 days, so I didn't go to class. Third day, I was working on an essay through my first 2 classes. Went to my third class. Yesterday, I threw up. So
Pussy.
Thursday was fun.
What'd you do today?
Today, I only had 1 class.
Fair enough.
So I only went to 2 classes this
Nice.
week. But I went to work for almost all 11 hours.
Well, I mean,
11 hours in a week.
11
that's it.
hours.
Yeah, we're only allowed to work 10, but I'm technically scheduled for 11, and I don't think my boss has figured that out yet. So,
Little do
Gotta
they know,
work
my
study.
time card lies. It says 11, but really, I work 9. I wish that was the case.
I did work 9, but I'm supposed to be working 11 because I work 3 hours Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then 2 hours on Friday.
Today's Friday.
Yeah, I work 2 to 4.
Oh shit! I didn't go to work.
I'll be back. It just sprints out the door.
I work 2 to 4.
I thought today was second
You work 2
Thursday.
to 4
What
at a
the
movie
fuck?
theater.
In the shop at my school.
Okay.
What do you mean it's not Thursday?
I only
to
work at the
Electric
movie theater
Boogaloo?
on the weekends.
Oh yeah.
I work at the school. What? Fuck you, just boost my voice, you little bitch.
No. Fuck you. Thumbs up.
I'm gonna slowly get farther and farther away from the mic, but my volume's not.
Slowly.
You need to get the fuck away.
Why?
So anyway, guys.
Hello!
It's me, Flo.
It's like that.
I too am here.
There's something.
Hi, here I'm Flo.
Hi, fold and Robert.
Show me a war face.
That's not a war face. This is a war face.
When some guy coughs in the middle of his war face. That one poor bastard who sneezes. Yeah! You ever tried to sneeze with your eyes open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I actively try. So whenever I feel a sneeze coming on, if I'm just sitting around with a bunch of people, I'm like, wait, here we go. And it doesn't work ever.
No.
But
So you get the clips and then you clip your eyes open.
Just get
and
a
then if you
facelift.
snap the clips off, then you're Jesus.
Just remove your eyelids, and then they'll always be open.
Exactly. That
that
would
was
be
trying to sleep
Yeah.
without eyelids. You're like, yeah. You cover your hands over your
It would be so
Yeah.
easy. You just get one of those sleep masks that you put over your eyes.
It would be really
it
fun
would
to go to like
matter.
a
Those
child's
things-
daycare with that because then you
Remember-
could just never blink and they would be terrified because your face would make the action to blink but you're not blinking. So your face would like lightly move down. They'd be like, what the fuck?
Or
Blink,
you just
motherfucker.
you get some weird fucking implants to where instead of blinking down, they blink like sideways like a reptile.
No.
Or they blink
Oh God, no.
so they go the other way.
Or
Yeah,
or
I
or
was
they
talking
blink
about
down
it.
and then sideways, so it's just like.
Get
Like a fucking robot.
Yeah, literally.
Bup, bup.
Oh god, I would love that.
so
Imagine if your ears blinked. They just closed
And
randomly.
we just
Listening
broke
to
Medwards.
music, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, my ears blinked.
Oh, my ears blinked. I missed that portion of the song.
Is that what happens when you go like really high in an airplane?
Is that what
Ears
zoning
just
out is?
blinked.
I guess. Well, that's your
No, that's
your
your-
brain blinking.
No, that.
No,
That's your brain going on
stopping.
Your
No,
heart
that's your
blinking
brain
is
going
when
on
you die.
vacation.
Your heart blinks
Don't
all
you just
the
hate
time.
it when your arm blinks?
Fucking all the
Oh
time.
shit! It's like we call it muscle spasms. Why do we call it? We should just call everything blinking. I love it. My lungs are blinking.
Whoops! I just blinked you in the face.
Consider yourself blinked.
Oh, I just
your
blinked all
wife.
over the carpet.
Sounds like a really shitty superhero.
Matt enjoys a nice little blink. at
Blink
2 in the morning
182.
by himself.
Yeah. He like
Sits in his room
Blink
with nothing but his phone
182.
and blinks.
he blinks with his right hand.
When your mother bursts into the room,
All the blinking things.
oh, it's beautiful. I love it.
We're talking about masturbating, by the way.
Maybe you don't get the joke.
No, we're talking about blinking, you
Well,
dumbass.
no. We're talking
Imagine
about
that
all
being like a
form
problem.
of blinking.
It's like where you just sit there and blink furiously, and you're like, you're gonna go blind doing that.
So
You'll get hairy bumps.
so then is
Told you that? What the fuck?
Nobody's
Wait.
ever told me that.
does that mean farting is just your butt sneezing?
Oh my
No,
god.
it's your fart.
yes.
It's your butt blinking.
It's blinking.
No, that's pooping.
yeah, that's when you take a crap and you like pinch it off. That's blinking.
No, that's like the
Yeah.
when you just get like the
No,
little
no,
rocks,
no,
the
no.
little
There's a difference
bubbles.
between clenching
are
your
all-
bunghole and blinking it.
But if it's diarrhea, then it's just like when you're trying to get something out of your eyes.
When you cry, you're just really upset. That's what happens every.
Just crying.
You just gotta like massage the side of it a little bit.
Sorry guys, my ass is going through a rough breakup right now.
with Taco Bell.
It and Chipotle didn't quite get along well.
Just shit your brains.
Just go and sit on the can and just let the floodgates go. It's like the chocolate.
You don't know
fountain
what's
in
art.
America.
Yeah.
Porcelain.
For those of you playing Buddy Cop Bingo at home, that is
Free
The
space.
shit joke.
That's the poop. That's the poop.
That had the
Wait,
coolest
are
one.
we gonna tell the,
bingo card.
you should.
are we gonna tell the John's Incredible Pizza story now since that episode didn't work?
Oh yeah, we didn't tell the John's Incredible Pizza story.
Well,
Should we
did
tell
tell
John's Incredible Pizza?
We could.
Or we could just let everybody wonder what the fuck John's Incredible
Let's
Pizza
not.
means.
Let's not. Now that we've alluded to it too much, we
No,
can't.
no. We're gonna
Fuck
save
you guys. You don't know
That's
us.
one worth saving.
That's our
I'm
100
close.
sub special right there.
Quick. Sponsor.
Juicy drop
Sponsor.
pop.
Oh, yeah. Where he only has the juice portion of it.
No, I've got the.
Oh wait, no,
the
he's got both. There we go. He's got the pop. Quick.
He's good at sucking. That's why he has to drop pop.
Hey, come on, Matt. You gotta get more than a head there. There you go.
He's got the
Look,
motion down because
all the way down. Look,
full on-
swallow it. Swallow
I want to
it.
let everyone know what just happened because we didn't get filmed this time. Sadly, we should have a camera on him for this kind of shit.
Let's say,
Yeah.
let's
Just
say
on
what?
me. Every episode, the camera's only on me.
Let's say
Imagine if
what?
we-
25
I'm the
likes
dog
on this
cam.
video.
By the way, give us a comment if you think we should get cameras and y'all can watch this shit because it's crazy. But for those of you who couldn't see that, what just happened is he pulls the pop bit out, puts it in his mouth, and then
Hold
starts
on,
blowing
hold
on
on.
it like he's sucking a dick.
Because
But
he's
then,
used to it.
The hilarious bit is that he started to twist it around. Now, no one
Matthew,
taught him how to do
Matthew,
that. Or at least
Matthew.
not that we
He's
know of.
self-taught. Well, you know.
grapefruit method.
That's what I'm doing.
Grapefruit
Hold on.
Technique.
Grapefruit technique right here.
He did the hand motion
He's
now.
still
You
making
have to do the hand
Because
motion.
he's used to it.
If you're gonna do the grapefruit technique,
Quick,
you've
take your
gotta
mic
use the
condom
hand-
off and show us what it's really like. Okay, that was an image that I didn't want to see, but I had to. And I'm really glad.
You
that I
asked
did.
for it. What do you mean you didn't want to see it? You asked for it.
You ask, therefore you receive.
Yep, so what just happened?
That's how it works in this
Chromo
world.
being
Yep.
gay.
I mean, we didn't have to ask him to do that. He does it by himself.
No, he asks and then he receives because, well,
Quick, Matt, say
we all
literally
know Matt's
anything
a
that isn't
bottom.
gay. Go.
He doesn't ask. He just receives.
Shit.
Classic Matt. What is something that is not gay? I have to taking mind off of this now. Constantly replaying the
Dicks.
starts to blink furiously.
ass
Penis. Damn it.
We're going to call this part of the podcast Dicks and Butts Part 1.
There you go. I actually wanted to tell a story. I thought it was kind of funny. So we went to high school with a chick. I'm gonna call her Jane's. It's not her real name,
Jane's, like,
but
plural
that's what I'm gonna
Jane's.
call her.
James.
Like there's
Yeah.
more than one
She
James.
is multiple
She's
of
more than one
Jane.
person.
She's like
got
a twin,
split
but there's
personality.
4 of them.
But anyway, she's like conjoined twins. Jane's. Anyway, so
Jane's.
Jane's went to our high school, and she had a brother. I don't actually know his name, but he works
Jane's
with me,
brother.
and I worked with him in a trailer a while ago. And I was talking to him. He was like, "Oh, so you went to Tiger Knowledge?" Because I was wearing a hoodie that had my high school on it, and. He was like, "Oh, cool." Matt is now drinking the juice out of his drop pot. He bought him a root beer. He doesn't have to do that, but he's making. All right, he's made his decisions.
gross.
Anyway, so I'm working with him, and he's talking about this other guy who always hangs out with Jane's, right? And so, for a word, we're gonna call him Jim. So not his real name, but
Jim's?
Jim. Just Jim. His
Jim's?
one guy. He's not
Aw,
conjoined
damn
by-
it.
Jimmy
He's not a part
or
of
like
conjoined
Jim?
twin
No, he's not.
monstrosity.
So anyway, so Jim and Jane's always hang out together, right? And he tells me, one time I asked her, "Hey Jane's, why don't you and Jim go out?" And I was like, she replies with, "Well, Jim is gay," which I thought was one of the funniest things ever. Is that he didn't actually know that, and then he tries to explain it to me when I was in classes with these people. You know who I'm talking about? Best buds. He was a part of the clique. You know who he is. Yeah, I just can't say his name right now because I don't know.
Steve.
His name is Jim. Duh.
His name is Steve, I assume.
Anyway, for those of you who just pictured Jim from The Office doing all that, you're welcome.
You're a
For those of you who
fag.
didn't watch The Office, The Office is a good show. I beat you to it, you little shit.
The Office is a good show.
Fuck you. That's my line.
For those of you who don't know, that's something that Twig will randomly say whenever there's like
That
an
joke
awkward-
goes way back.
It's
though.
a really long time, yeah. I don't.
Remember, you
was it
asked
our
me
first
to
Weeblos
tell
words?
him.
Oh yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
you ready for the 7th year of Campfire? I'm not. 2 months. That's all we got.
4 more years.
No.
4 more years.
I don't even want to do this year.
Robert, you gotta
Yeah.
get down here for another 4
87 more years. 87
Meanwhile,
more years.
Seven.
Me being the person I am is getting someone to spend like a couple $100,000 on.
Oh my god!
Shit.
I cannot believe you managed to get him to do that.
Wait,
So
what?
you
our
got him to buy
Scoutmaster
the
spent a
Leica?
couple
He's,
$1,000.
yeah, he's going to buy
on,
one.
Shit.
Massive screen.
You thought we were joking?
No,
Yeah,
I
he's
was like,
buying,
I don't know if
like,
he's really gonna do that. I thought it was like something.
Have you met the man?
Dan and Miller, you can describe them better than I can. Go ahead.
All right, so
He's smarter.
look, so pre-story. I do shows and stuff quite a bit.
Like big shows. We have to
yeah.
set shit up. with a gurney.
We did one back in what was it, September? We call it Conclave, and
It's an OA thing for those of you. Who don't
yeah,
know. And we're not going to let you know what that
it's a pretty big event. Here's a photo. Actually, no, not a photo yet.
Here's a photo. Anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Here's a duck.
Random photo. There. Okay.
Check out the duck, guys. It's a cool
So
duck.
basically, this event is a like gathering. We had, I want to say, 600 people for this one.
Think about regular people, then multiply it by 6.
100.
Wait, regular people. So wait a minute.
Well, normally when you think
Wait.
about regular people, you think of like 100 people, right? Multiply that by 6. Why not?
Okay. Anyway,
Regular people is like 1 or 2 people. Hold on, wait. It's like 1, 2, maybe 3 people. You assume 100 or
Yeah.
Jane's controlling twins for some reason.
Yeah, everybody has a conjoined twin,
You're
so
a
you only have to think
dumbass.
of like 20 people.
isn't that a half though?
Well,
No,
I
it's a
mean-
full person.
No,
Ben
because
Carson
they don't
can
have their
separate
own
them.
organs. That's
Yeah,
the
they
thing.
do. Ben Carson can separate them. He did.
Ben Carson's not real.
Oh yeah, I forgot we were talking about this in the car. He isn't real. Pigment.
Oh, you're gonna tap. on
Anyway,
the-
so at this event,
He said it. It's out there now.
What just
I'm gonna have to go back.
You might have to censor that.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Just
What
censor
did you
everything
just
that we
say?
just said. Don't worry about it. We can't repeat it. Then,
Well,
we
we
can't
can't.
repeat it because you're gonna censor it.
Well,
We'll say it. We'll tell you after the podcast.
Anyway, so we're at this event, right? And I have I have a friend. He's kind of crazy in the sense that he's a very generous.
Generous to a fault.
Yes,
he's a great guy.
great guy, like fucking phenomenal.
And
Stealing
he loves
Robert's
to buy
jargon there. He likes to buy shit in the sense that like if it is something needed for like an event or something, and it's like we're all like I don't know, should we pay for this or not? He'll be just like,
Yes.
yes,
I already bought it.
I'll buy it.
I've ordered 10. What do you
We'll
mean?
buy it right now. Just give me like tell me what it
all
is.
of
We'll
them
buy
off
it.
the market. We own all of them.
So I take him to. I should also say that he does something to his house every Christmas and Halloween, which is he decorates it with a fuck ton of lights.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
But he doesn't just stop there with putting lights on the house. He programs them to music. I've even programmed his house to music. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, it looks really good though.
He spends a couple thousand on it every year,
Just in electricity bills.
probably. I don't know. I don't know. It's pretty expensive
It's
though.
like deck the halls where you like.
And he
go-
doesn't
But-
have a small house either. It's
No, he
a
doesn't
fairly
have a
big house.
It's a bit. Yeah, it's a nice, decent sized
he
house.
lives in the nice part of our town.
Yeah. But anyway, so I took him to this event because I was like, I do all this show stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, you do all this show stuff. It's really cool.
Well, it's not that you just took him there. It's like it's not like he wasn't
No.
invited. He's allowed to go to this
Well,
event. He's in the
Just
group
drag
with
him
us.
So,
with a lasso.
I kind of
Fucking
like
leash.
I kind of like hinted at it, like, yes, this is kind of what we do, and it's really cool and stuff. And then
And his
he's
kid was
like,
going.
cool. And then I mentioned, yeah, we're doing this really big version of this in September. Would you like to help us with this? He's like, yeah, sure. Do you want a man lift for it? So he provided a man lift for that event to set up
great.
all the stuff. Here's
Ended
a
up being
picture
too
of
small of a room to have the man lift in.
yes. Here's a picture of the full production we put on right here. Yeah, it's a lot of shit.
Whoa, so cool.
Yeah.
I just want to pause for a moment. Chromo is distracting the shit out of me by just making small farting sounds into the mic. Can we boost his audio for the past like 5 minutes? He's been going just into his mic.
I've been waiting.
If I was
to see-
recording separate tracks, yes. No, I can't.
I was waiting to see
Figure it
how
out.
long it would take somebody.
I'm talking about this thing I can't claim.
Anyway, so part of it is a video wall. If you don't know what a video wall is, basically imagine like a shit ton of LEDs really close to each other to create basically a giant screen. These things can be tiny or they could be fucking 4 stories tall and like basically a jumbotron.
Yeah.
That
Imagine a
is
basket.
what we use.
Yeah. Imagine a jumbotron. That.
And so recently we've been talking, and of course at that event he's like, man, I really want one of these and just use it with like put it so it covers my house. And I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. He's like, no, like, I kind of want this. And I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, no, seriously, I want to do this. So since then, that was back in September, through like, I want to say about last month, that was just kind of a thing of like, okay, he kind of wants to do this at some point. Well, recently in the past couple weeks, because we have an event coming up, he's like, I really want it like now. So
Right now.
and especially last week, he's like, no, seriously, I'm going to talk to a company tomorrow. We're going to see if we can order one, see if they can discount it. I'm getting one. So we're going to have one.
Yeah, and now we're going to use it for a Boy Scout campfire.
Yes.
It sounds like the most low budget thing ever. That
Or
we're
the
going
most
to
overkill.
It's going to be overkill.
You know what else is really needed? My tuition.
A sponsor.
So imagine if he actually sponsored this podcast.
You say that jokingly, he probably would.
Yeah.
I'm glad he doesn't listen because he might, and I don't want him to do
He'd
that.
be like,
'cause
well,
it's like, holy shit!
it's
Like, just
kinda
so y'all know,
scary
this guy
sometimes.
fixed my car, spent like a couple $1,000s, and had a dude pull it apart literally 4 times, and didn't charge me for half the times that he pulled it apart. And then he had done more work on it, and he told me the only thing I had to do was get my Eagle Scout, and then I didn't have to pay him a dime.
The thing is,
He did a shit ton of work for my car.
he does a shit ton of work, and it's kind of scary sometimes when you joke at things like that, because
He'll do it.
you'll do it.
One time, I was like barely 16. I was looking for a car, and I was like, "Hey, can I have your truck?" And he handed me his keys. Just straight, and he has like a really really nice Ram.
It's
Like,
like
It's a Ram, like,
it's like a
450.
2016 Ram.
Yeah.
So it's
Big ass
really
truck.
new,
Yeah.
massive, king cab, kind of shit that you can only put diesel in. Like,
It was also like really expensive. It was also like really new to him too.
Yeah,
And
you'd only had it for like 6 months.
but still, it's like
Fuck.
he's a great.
He's
He's
a really
great.
nice guy.
He's great.
he's a really great guy.
Yeah.
I hope we can have him on this podcast one day.
We
'cause-
probably can. He'd probably be pretty
Oh.
good at this, but he probably also wouldn't know what to say, and then we'd have to poke at him and ask him a shit ton of questions.
But
and
the
then
thing
finally
is,
he'd be
like-
used to talking.
Just coax him out with a sandwich.
It's okay. He does kind of look like
Folks,
the heavy
he's
from
not
TF2,
you.
though. Maybe
Oh my god, you're right.
we should get him the
Quick, flash up an image of the heavy from TF2, and maybe we could put up an image of Mr. Lalone. We probably could. We could. I guarantee we
could.
could.
Just
Do it.
ask him.
Bam. Take a ninja picture. It's probably a from behind picture, so he doesn't even know what's going on.
Don't make it. That sounds weird.
Make it so he accidentally photobombs us.
See, the thing
Ultimate
is,
ninja.
Wait, we're taking pictures just around him, so he's in the frame. So we're purposefully making him photobomb us.
Yeah.
All right, I like this.
That way you can't.
I want to see that, forcing people to photobomb us.
That, leave a comment if you want to see that.
Here, just look like you're trying to walk by.
Just walk by, or that, or we're following you home. So you have 2
Or
options.
he's walking, and then you walk like you walk with him sideways with the camera, and then at one point you just take the picture.
Just get a
And then
selfie
it looks like they were walking behind you the entire time. Be great.
But yeah, he's buying one.
Can we go and force random strangers?
I should also say these things aren't cheap. Like each
they're
panel,
fucking expensive.
each panel is about like $500. Actually, $500 is on the cheap end. It's between 500 and like I want to say 4,000
Oh shit! I was off by half.
For a single screen
panel.
panel,
Yeah.
how many panels is he using?
How big do you want it?
Exactly. You can.
We're
connect them
going
and
for
make it
about
bigger.
40 panels.
He's.
It doesn't end there though.
This is not at all a joke. This is something that
You also
actually
need
happened
a
on Monday.
controller,
That moment
a
when you,
processor. Sorry,
when you fucking
processors are about.
fucking jumbotron.
You think these are cheap? No.
I want a jumbotron. Wait, what? That
Goes to your nearest 7-Eleven. You're getting Twinkies, and then it's just like, oh, I'll take a jumbotron as well because it's at the checkout aisle.
If only these weren't at the counter, I wouldn't
On
buy
top
them
of that-
for like 20 grand.
On top of this, I should add, you do need a processor to go with it. Those are about 1,000, 2,000 each.
Oh, shit.
And depending on how many panels,
So expensive. We're talking about
there's
a
kind
lot
of ratio.
money. That's all it is.
So how much is he relatively spending?
A lot.
Uh,
Imagine money. That.
Hey Matt, I want you to think of your college
we
tuition.
didn't want to go
and triple
over
it.
50,000.
No.
Let's just say this. let's just say this: the max we were wanting was 50,000, and that was based on a quote from a different company that is selling a used wall.
Wait, so you said cheap? It's 500.
Of which, so we need to let y'all know, is
And
that
then
he's
you-
actually going to be
how many
using this
pounds?
to
What is he
make
doing?
money as
40.
well. So it's not like he's just buying it and it's just
So-
going to sit there and gather dust.
So
He
on
is
the
gonna-
low end,
Damn.
okay, on
he's
the
gonna
low
make
end,
money
which
off
is
of this 'cause he's a freaking genius.
for $500 per panel, times 40 because he wants 40 panels. Just for the panels alone, it'd be $20,000. That's if he gets them all for $500 cheap.
Now, if we go to a mid-range panel, which let's say 1,200,
Yeah.
this gets crazy.
A lot of money. Are you doing it on a calculator?
$48,000.
Yeah, he's spending a lot of money on
Yeah,
the fucking
that's just
thing.
for
Plus,
Holy
let's say
shit.
1,200
And
for a
we're using this for
processor.
a campfire.
So what? 49,000.
What
for
the
a
fuck?
Boy Scout
Yeah.
campfire that we won't even plan until the day that we get there.
By the way, this type of stuff is never used for that low
Yeah.
production. We
That's
only
some
use
dumb
this for
shit.
The most
like
we've ever had is mics. Like that's it. We
Yeah.
had
Even
microphones.
And now you're just bringing in a fucking jumbotron.
for about
Yep.
$50,000.
Yes.
yes.
What the fuck?
That's about mid.
That's because our troop is the best.
No.
Everybody talks about 150,
No,
but 150
because
is a bunch
some
of ass
dumbass here decided to get a guy who's really interested in that stuff hooked.
Yeah, you were just fucking
A
coaxing
dude
him
with too much
into-
money and time.
Yeah, you got the guy who has who can essentially do anything he wants because I'm pretty sure he's half Jesus. And you were like, hey,
Only
look
half
at,
of him can walk on.
look at all this
He can
shit.
hop on
It's
water.
really expensive and
1 foot
literally
6, the other one doesn't.
looks like a lot
That's
of
why he
fun.
hops. You ever think about naming a dog with 3 legs? Boing. Boing, 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 boing.
Oh no, boy fell over. We're gonna help him up.
Oh, should we tell the story that on how he threw out his shoulder?
All right, I want to tell this story. Okay,
totally
so
weird.
so let's just say, first of all, the guy we're talking about. He's
This is
on
also why this guy is so great.
camera. he's great, and you know he's funny too. So
This
he's,
is just gonna have to be tough.
He knows how to take a joke.
He's such a great scoutmaster, and
It's great.
so
He was
so
making
there's we went on an outing, and it was a horse trek. So essentially, we
Get
went
on
to a
horse
certain
and you
camp.
trek around.
Well, we went to a certain camp,
Hada.
and it wasn't like the ones with the kids where they just like essentially did a circle, got off, and left. No, this was like you're going out for like an hour and a half, and you're just going out to a place that they wanted, and you ride back. That's all. But you know it was nice. So we go down there for this outing. I was there. I don't think you guys were there because
I wasn't there. I was doing something else.
yeah.
But
So
previously,
Did
Folds
you
was-
ride the horse, Folds?
Yes, he did.
we're
Yeah,
getting
how?
to this point.
Exactly.
How?
You get on
okay,
the
we
horse's
told him it was a
back
horse,
and
but it
you
was a
ride
massive
it.
Look
Great.
at him. How?
Matt,
Wait, it took
Trojan.
2 horses.
Matt,
what
Do you know how much
want?
horses can like?
it was a Trojan horse.
Ah, I see.
It had
Anyway.
wheels
Ah.
on it. And it was driven by a crane. But anyway, previously he
Wonderful.
was threatened by one of his coworkers because he was making fun of her, and she said, "I hope you fall off the horse this
Oh
weekend."
yeah. Okay. So that was
Just so
funny.
y'all know, that's the backstory.
So yeah, I was joking around. She said, "Well, I hope you fall off, fall off the horse." And I was like, "Okay." And we're going, and I literally got bucked off the horse, and it attempted to buck me off a second time. But I was like, whatever. it's
But he
fine.
was like, "Fuck you,
Yeah.
ass," and then he like stabbed
Which-
the horse.
which
and
hurt
called
'cause
it-
Wait,
we
was
were-
it an ass or a horse?
So we were going uphill, which kind
Whoa.
of sucked because
The
it bucked me
Trojan
backwards. down,
It's the ass of the Trojan.
and I was like, "Well, that sucked." So then,
It's also the butt of the
so
joke.
whatever. We finished the ride and everything, and then the next campfire that we did, we get there and the scoutmaster was there, and he was also there for the trek, obviously, because he's our scoutmaster. And so we're there, and we were, we had our groups of kids, and we were teaching like how to do skits. And he was like, "I want to do a quick improv skit."
Okay, yeah, we were
So
playing
he
a game
gets-
called Clap-Ins where you let people come up on stage after they clap, and it's just a good way to get people to kind of warm up on being on stage and practice improv. So we're working on being on the stage, and then he claps, and he goes up on stage,
Well,
and he
let's just
does
be clear.
the following.
Let's just be clear. The stage was wet and slick, and we were warning all the kids that it was wet and slick. And he gets up there, and then he goes,
Hold on one sec. It's also not like a nice like wooden surface. It's like sanded down, so when
Yeah.
it gets wet, it's like an ice rink up there.
It's,
It's bad.
slick. And so,
Did you just take a bite?
so he's just munching
What the
on it.
What
I'm
the
sorry,
fuck
he just
is
took a
wrong with
bite out
you?
of his juicy drop pop, and I'm concerned.
He just took another
Because
bite.
previously you were using that as a metaphor to suck dick. So if that's how you do it, I'm sorry, but you're not going to make a ton of money.
Unless he's doing circumcisions.
God.
He's not. I'm not gonna go.
Anyway,
Or unless it kills him.
And then you could rob them. There you go. That's a good way to do it. I mean, a bullet would work better.
I don't
Love
think.
people.
Yeah, you don't have to suck someone's dick to do that. I think you're just doing that for you. Let's
What
be
if you
honest.
just go straight for the teeth, though?
I think you're doing that for you. Let's be honest. You just want a dick in your mouth.
All right, back to the story.
Anyway, so he gets on the stage and he's joking. He's like, "Oh, who am I?" And he's fake riding a horse. And we were laughing. I was like, "I hate you." And he slips and he falls onto his shoulder like pretty hard. And he hits.
It made a thud. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it
sure I
was-
felt the ground shake when that happened.
It was
But it was
a hard fall. It was funny. We were laughing at him. He
It
thought
was
it
like
was funny.
when Folds takes a step.
So
But-
it was funny.
Imagine that, the seismic activity that happens when that.
You know earthquakes? Yeah.
I want you to think of a Richter scale.
Those are him
Imagine
getting
it
out of
going to
bed in the
8.
morning.
That one step when Folds jumps,
So then he
The
literally
Earth implodes.
the Earth literally changes its orbit.
after that he went to the hospital and he like threw out his shoulder or something and he was
had to
he
go
was
to
going
physical
he was going to physical therapy for at least a year and I was like, that's what you get for making fun of a child. And then he says, you know, it was worth it anyway, it was really funny. And I was like, you're right, that was really funny.
It was so worth
So he
it.
went and threw out his shoulder to make fun of Folds.
Oh, we could call this episode Misa Lu.
Misalu, we could call it. It's called Misalu.
Oh, so many
Yeah, so that's just kind of the story of him.
He's straight.
That was like a full 20 minutes of talking solidly about one guy and making fun of Chromo for sucking dick. Because
all the time because that's all he does on his free time.
I mean, he says he was going to work. Yeah, that's all he was doing.
Yep.
11 hours
That's
straight.
work.
That's like a marathon.
Not denying it.
11 hours straight of.
That's like a
dick.
marathon. I mean, not to him, of course, because he's done it.
So what
But
kind of techniques do you use?
He had one of those
to make it
dental
last
things that
11
great.
hours.
do you take your
Something?
dentures out?
No,
That's
he
how
just
you make the you
have
take the
more-
dentures out. That's so fucked. Actually,
we
that-
get action on the
Oh,
gums. You need the gum action, you know? You need to like feel it all the way.
oh god,
And he just-
image I wanted.
He had one of those
Well,
dental
now you
I
have
imagine
it.
What
like
you
his
got?
mouth
And
open
putting
the
him in
whole
a
time.
fucking glass of water.
Yeah.
Fucking, all right.
Not water.
going to town for the next 20 minutes.
Thank
Hey,
you so much, it was
It allows
water.
them to go deeper.
It wasn't water.
It was not water.
It was the previous
The red.
the wrist action.
No,
that
it's
some people
spit.
like.
Collecting. No. Crabs.
No.
Or as we were referring to it previously, as blinking all over the
He blinked into a jar so he could keep his teeth nice and
blinked
moist.
into a jar and used it to clean out his dentures because he likes the
Wait,
taste.
did he have a photo of himself in the jar or something?
It's his favorite flavor.
He has a juicy pop in the jar too.
He fills the juice container up with that. So, would you like to comment, Chins?
I'm sorry to all of
I-
our viewers
I don't
having
know what
to
to
listen.
comment.
Can we get
I
this
don't know
part
what to
animated,
say.
please?
Especially the cup. Because if we make fan art of the cup, it just has chins
It's so
on the side of it. And it's just full of. blinking.
Oh, it's so cursed.
I want teeth to be like barely shown, but you know there are teeth in there.
No. No.
Does anybody else believe that dentures should have like the wind-up bit on it to make them like the chattering?
All of them should.
I
have
think
that
they
as
should.
an
They
added
should.
That'd be
feature.
fucking. We need to give those to our mother. She has a pair of dentures. Give her a pair of chattering teeth.
That help people chew their food.
Maybe pulverize it.
Wind it up. Wind it up.
You gotta be really accurate with the fork. Otherwise, it just gets stuck and you just push the dentures farther down. You deep throat your dentures.
Which is something Matt's used to. Because as we clarified 5 minutes ago, he's gay and has dentures. Oh, you know, we could call it his blinker fluid.
Headlight
Stop.
fluid.
Oh God.
Oh shit! That's some good stuff right there. Oh shit! All right, we need fan art of blinker fluid now.
No.
So have you changed your headlight fluid recently?
Of course.
Headlight
Every
fluid.
Head.
Listen, if
Get
we're
it?
gonna have
'Cause-
fan art of the blinker fluid, we also have to have fan art of a crab net.
It's
Because you're crabbing.
Do you know what that
We
is?
made at a camp with a bunch of
Hold
fifth
it.
graders.
I can explain
Not
this.
to the 5th graders.
Not to
Blinker
them.
fluid.
To the 5th graders.
That's what we call crabbing.
You are blinker fluid?
No,
No.
no, no.
So he was
Crabbing.
late, right? And so we're trying to figure out what the hell he could possibly be doing. So I'm just sitting there going, Mister Krabs! It was the weirdest thing we did the
With
entire
that
time.
specific hand motion. Meet the. No, sorry. It's meet the
For all of our audio listeners,
Just can you flash a picture of Mr. Krabs here for the fun of it?
yeah, sure.
There we go. That
Crabs on
that,
ketamine.
that should explain it.
Have a bowl, Mr. Squidward.
Ahoy, SpongeBob me babu. I've overdosed on ketamine and I'm going to die. Arg, arg, arg.
Ketamine Yoda needs. Ketamine I must have.
Backflip
Made
my
Allah
business.
angry I have.
Angry with me.
Commit genocide with my 2001 Honda Civic I must.
Oh, it's fucking beautiful. Mine!
Mine?
No, not Nemo. Star Wars.
Backflip I do. Responsible for war crimes. Yoda the prequels.
Kill all the younglings, you must.
Fucking dyslexic Muppet.
Oh, God, I hate midgets.
Especially when they're dyslexic.
Y'all ever heard that Randy Newman song, Short People?
But I should.
Short people got
No.
reason to live.
No. But
You know-
I also heard the song that matches
You know-
his
you
title
know-
perfectly. You've got a friend in me.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same guy.
Mister.
I'm glad that just happened. That was unprovoked. What are you doing right now? What is Jake doing right now? Is really what we should be talking
Oh,
about.
he's not in the room, thank God.
Hey,
Call him.
Yeah,
Call
he's not
Hey,
in the
get
room.
Jake.
He's under the desk.
Yelling louder isn't gonna help. I'm wearing headphones and he's not in the room.
fuck.
Call him.
Put us through your speakers.
No, it's not gonna help.
How
Yes, it
loud-
will.
how
Trust
loud-
me
It
on
makes
this.
no difference.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
We will
does.
yell loud
He's not
enough
in
to
the
make
room.
it be
Where is
sound
he then?
all the way throughout the dorm.
I don't know.
Get his ass in
I
here.
really don't think the
No.
dorm at his
Why not?
like college should be listening to us right now.
No, let's,
They absolutely should.
Okay.
this is pure
We
comedy.
should put it like ear rape volume then.
Most
And now
definitely.
some ear rape.
Just a cat on like gravel.
No, it's
not
just-
like not like an animal, but like an excavator.
It's just our transition. There it is. It's our
Oh,
transition
dear.
sound now.
Quick,
It's
Robert, fart into the mic. Close enough.
extremely realistic.
That was a squiddy. Oh, there we go. Damn. Dude, that's like a Taco Bell one. Where it's
Speaking
like,
of
it's not a
asses
wet
and
one,
mics.
it's really dry and it feels like sandpaper.
So
Promo now.
I don't know if it's a joke or serious, but there's a artist by the name of Deadmau5, right? Someone asked him, and apparently this is true. So he produces a lot of electronic music, but apparently on a lot of his songs, he for a snare sound, he has the sound of him just clapping his ass cheek. Sorry, smacking his ass cheek,
What a
just straight
genius.
into a mic.
What a legend.
What a genius.
I mean, if it works.
Insert ass clap here.
No.
Quick, Chromo, you're practiced.
Cue the Spider-Man slapping Spider-Man.
Oh, fucking hate that meme.
Up there it goes.
Put it up! Put it up! There it is!
It's the all I want for Christmas version, though.
So really quickly before we end the podcast.
So, how was your day, Twig? How was
wanna-
your week?
Speaking of ass clap, Ricardo.
Ricardo.
Ricardo Milos.
Do you know that?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Ricardo.
Do you?
Ricardo.
Quick, Ricardo.
Oh, well, we know.
That doesn't help me.
Ricardo.
Oh, you got to go back and watch it then.
I'm not
Ricardo's
gonna
the black guy in the Speedo.
Yeah.
He is
That's
American
Black.
Speedo.
He's not Mexican. Isn't he like Puerto Rican?
Yeah, but
all
he's
the
black.
videos I've seen are deep fried to hell, so I could be. deep fried
Of course they're deep fried. You're fools.
That is so accurate.
Every video, you actually go through and edit a video to deep fry it.
Speaking of dead
before
memes,
watching
diddly.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Dilly.
but anyway, so today we were getting gas, and I was sitting in the car, right? So this is the story he's been wanting to tell all day. Fat knows what I'm gonna say, but so here's what happened: we're waiting in the gas in the car, getting gas.
We're waiting in the gas.
In the gas. But we're sitting there.
That's what you could call it. One's full
And
of kids in the car.
Some guy
Let's rip. Fuck.
Sorry.
Somebody walks.
Folds, let it rip. It's like Beyblade.
Somebody walks in front of the car, and I look for a second. They were looking at me weird, which I thought was.
And we're looking at both of us.
So
I mean,
anyway,
look at the size of you. Anyone would.
So anyway, he's looking at me, and I'm like, "That's weird." And then I look.
Why'd you
and
look
I see
down?
As he's
I
walking away.
see
Yeah.
that his pants.
I saw that glance.
His pants are not where your pants are supposed to be. They were like he was limping because his pants were like his whole ass was hanging out, but he had his underwear pulled up like fairly high.
Thank God he was wearing
And he's
that
just
fucking
like
backpack. You couldn't
limping.
see
He's
that.
literally having a hard time walking because his pants are so far down his ass. I don't understand who wakes up in the morning and is like, you know what? Pants are going on the ankles today. Like what the fuck?
Gang members.
And they were, like,
Yes,
skinny
the
jeans, too,
Saturday.
Yeah, they were like really
mood.
tight jeans. It's like, dude, you should not be wearing those and sagging. Like,
Like,
it's not
that's
gonna
just-
work.
And he was looking at me with like there's something wrong with me, which there is, but come on, dude, you're literally limping because you made the choice to have your pants halfway down your fucking ass.
I like the way you put it in the car. You were like, he probably made the decision after the fact where he pulled the pants all the way up, then
Exactly.
moved them back down.
exactly.
Belts not for me.
I bet he was standing in the fucking mirror and he pulls them up and he's like, no. Hold that, this is going out. I'm getting a date tonight. Like, dude,
Was
no.
he like airing it out or something?
Fucking
Like,
no.
Chromo calls that easy access.
Double cheeked up
And
on a
with that-
Friday.
We'll be
He,
ending the
he wants the
podcast.
rapes to be more accessible.
can we put that in this?
He wants to be like the McDonald's of prostitution.
Just easy.
In and out, nice and cool.
Oh, In-N-Out,
In and out. I've ruined that restaurant for everyone.
And just
You're
like,
welcome.
And just like In and Out, there's a long line to get inside bad. So many people.
What a
His
compliment.
prices are so low, and there's only so many items.
His rates.
Oh my god, he's literally in and out.
There's only so many options, and his rate's so low.
And it's so generic.
What do you mean low?
So can we take a vote on calling him in and out from now on instead of chromo?
No, we can't do that because that's so many syllables.
That's true. It's like
Yeah.
goldfish.
All right, now we'll end the
It's
podcast.
literally one more syllable.
That's so
Yeah,
many
that's one
syllables.
too many.
It's like one.
The rest of us are easy. You're the most difficult one.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to count?
Yes.
1, 2,
I'm Chromo.
5.
No, it's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Dumbass.
LOBOWO cow.
Obviously, that's not
And
spelling.
with that, thank you all for listening to our podcast. Cut the music.
And cut the music.
And cut the music.
How deep is this going to go?